Imagine for a moment that you are facing a mirror. What you see reflects not only your appearance, but also the deepest feelings and thoughts you carry. Today, let's delve into the teachings of Neville Goddard. One of the greatest insights I've absorbed from Neville's studies is the idea that you can change your past. Yes, that's right. Don't waste a single moment on regrets. As Neville asserts, emotionally dwelling on past mistakes is to reinfect oneself with them. Instead, detach from appearances and assume the feeling that would be yours if you were already the person you aspire to be. If you're enjoying the story that connects channel, click follow. This helps us reach more people seeking spiritual and financial enrichment. Leave a like and comment on what you want to improve in your life. Reflecting on Neville Goddard's profound insights, we understand that the tapestry of our reality is intricately woven with the threads of our thoughts, emotions, and beliefs. Life, much like a mirror, reflects the inner turmoil or tranquility that characterizes your inner being onto the canvas you call life. Neville suggested that rather than challenging what we see in the mirror, which is common, we should focus on addressing the source of the reflection through introspection. To change your reality, it's essential to delve into yourself and initiate transformation at the foundation of your consciousness. Take a moment to notice the countless thoughts crossing your mind right now. You may encounter thoughts related to the present moment, but most will be about the past. Your mind tends to replay past events with great intensity, often leaving little room for the present or the future. This is because the mind functions as a repository of the past, cataloging experiences along with the emotions and beliefs resulting from those experiences. This archival function is crucial, helping us navigate life without falling into the same traps of the past. For example, consider the profound impact of a painful lesson learned from a childhood burn. Such an experience, though seemingly minor, embeds deeply in your psyche, serving as a potent cautionary tale. The burn, perhaps resulting from a moment of youthful curiosity, touching a hot stove or the flame of a candle, translates into a vivid memory laden with pain and surprise. The immediate physical pain of the burn is accompanied by an emotional realization: the world contains elements that can harm us if we're not careful. This lesson extends far beyond the initial incident, imprinting a pattern of caution in your mind, steering you away from similar harm in the future. The memory of the burn becomes a subconscious reminder of the importance of assessing risks and being mindful of your surroundings. This doesn't mean living in fear, but rather with heightened awareness of your actions and their potential consequences. Furthermore, this childhood burn experience teaches resilience and recovery. The pain eventually subsides, and the wound heals, showcasing your body's remarkable ability to recover and adapt. This cycle of action, consequence, and recovery serves as a fundamental lesson of cause and effect, shaping your approach to new experiences and challenges as you grow. So, when looking into this mirror of your life, remember, you have the power to transform your past and thereby shape a brighter future. Introspection is the key, and change begins at the core of your consciousness. Imagine for a moment a painful memory from your childhood, perhaps the experience of a burn. This simple yet poignant incident carries with it a multitude of lessons: caution, awareness, resilience, and the natural laws of cause and effect. It's remarkable how these early experiences shape your understanding of the world and influence your behavior throughout life. However, this protective mechanism can become a double-edged sword when your perception of reality becomes so influenced by past experiences that you close yourself off to new possibilities. Broken hearts, failures, or losses should not define your openness to love, success, or joy in the present and future. Yet, the brain, in its quest to shield you from pain, often traps you in a cycle of past memories, suffocating your growth and transformation. If you desire to master your destiny and create your own reality, You cannot afford to be incessantly trapped in the past. Embracing beliefs anchored in past experiences only serves to recreate similar circumstances, contradicting the essence of reality creation. Given that time is an illusion, with past, present, and future existing simultaneously in the infinite now, the present moment is the fertile ground for creation. It is here and now that you have the power to sow new emotions and forge a different destiny. However, freeing yourself from the bonds of past thoughts and emotions is not a simple task. Your mind, accustomed to familiar patterns of thinking, resists venturing into the unknown, preferring the comfort of the known, however limiting it may be. Neville Goddard, with his mystical insight, recognized this human dilemma. Your attachment to the past hinders your ability to imagine and create a different future. Dr. Joe Dispenza elaborates on this phenomenon, illustrating how your body and mind become addicted to familiar emotions, imprisoning you in a cycle of negative thoughts and feelings. He explains that most people are constantly reaffirming their emotional states, so when it comes time to abandon that emotion, they say, "I really want to do this." But their body and mind have memorized these emotional states so well that they cannot help but feel the same way repeatedly. The servant has now become the master, and the person suddenly prefers to feel guilt and suffering because at least they can predict it. Being in the unknown is a scary place for most people because the unknown is uncertain. The equation of reality creation states that our thoughts and emotions shape our mood and manifest as external circumstances. Thus, persistent negative mood is likely to cultivate a life marked by negativity, reflecting the alignment between your inner and outer worlds. Neville Goddard's teachings often emphasize the transformative power of revision, a technique that allows you to alter your past in your mind, thus influencing your present and future. So, facing this mirror of your life, remember, you have the power to transform your past and thereby shape a brighter future. Introspection is the key, and change begins at the core of your consciousness. Have you ever stopped to think about the power you have in your hands to transform your past? It might seem like a bold idea, but this technique could be the key to healing the deepest wounds of your childhood. Many of us carry scars from a childhood that, in our perception, lacked love, connection, and affection. By revisiting these memories with the intention of infusing them with the qualities that were missing, we can significantly impact our current emotional well-being and our relationships. Consider a person, let's call her Emma, who reflects on her childhood as devoid of warmth and affection. Her memories are marked by feelings of isolation and misunderstanding, which have spread into her adult life, shaping her self-esteem, interactions with others, and her ability to form healthy relationships. Guided by the teachings of Neville Goddard, Emma embarks on a journey of revision, directing these critical memories that contributed to her sense of devaluation and disconnection. Emma chooses a particularly painful memory, a birthday where she felt utterly alone, with no one to share her joy or understand her desires. In the process of revision, she closes her eyes and reimagines the scene. But this time, she visualizes it infused with love and attention. In her revised memory, friends and family gather around her, their faces lit with joy and affection. She hears their laughter, feels the warmth of their hugs, and sees genuine love in their eyes. They celebrate not just her birthday, but her, recognizing her worth, her desires, and her importance in their lives. This act of revising her memory is not about denying the pain or pretending it never happened. Instead, it's a powerful exercise in reshaping her emotional landscape, mentally altering the narrative of her past. She begins to transform her internal dialogue from lack and devaluation to one of love and belonging. This change doesn't happen overnight, but with consistent practice, Emma notices a gradual transformation in how she sees herself, and interacts with the world around her. The magic of this revision technique lies in its ability to rewrite the emotional scripts that have dictated her life. By changing the story of her childhood from neglect to nurturing, Emma not only heals old wounds, but also opens herself to a present and future filled with deeper connections and self-love. Her relationships begin to reflect this new narrative, becoming deeper and more meaningful. She finds herself more open to love, better able to express her needs, and more resilient in the face of challenges. Dr. Joe Dispenza's assertion that we often misremember our past, along with research suggesting that our memories are malleable and influenced by our current emotional state, underscores the potential of revision as a transformative tool. This technique allows you to actively redesign your past, altering its influence on your present and future. Are you ready to begin rewriting your memories and transforming your life? Imagine being able to transform your past and thereby shape a future filled with new possibilities. Neville Goddard teaches us that forgiveness is an essential component of this revision process. Forgiving yourself, others, and the circumstances that caused you pain frees you from the chains of the past, allowing you to build a new future. Neville asserts that revision is of utmost importance when the goal is self-change, when there is a sincere desire to be something different, when the urge is to awaken the active ideal. Without imagination, man remains a being of sin. Either man advances into imagination or remains imprisoned in his senses. Advancing into imagination is forgiving. Forgiveness is the life of imagination. The art of living is the art of forgiving. Indeed, forgiveness is experiencing in imagination the revised version of the day, living in imagination what you would have liked to have experienced in reality. Each time you truly forgive, that is, each time you relive the event as it should have been lived, you are reborn. To navigate toward the life you desire, it is first necessary to address and revise your past. Holding on to unresolved traumas from the past not only harms your present, but also shapes your future in its image. The present moment offers you the canvas to create something new, to paint a masterpiece with the palette of your desires, dreams, and aspirations. So why allow the past to dictate the strokes of your brush? Embracing forgiveness, both of yourself and others, marks the first step toward liberation from the past. Making the conscious decision not to let the past define your present and future is the essence of taking responsibility for your life. In doing so, the universe aligns, providing you with the resources to thrive and flourish. As we conclude this exploration of Neville Goddard's teachings on the power of revising the past and embracing forgiveness, we are reminded of the transformative potential that resides within each of us. With conscious effort, we can transcend the limitations of our past experiences, opening the door to a future full of endless possibilities. Neville explains that it is a healthy and productive exercise to daily relive the day as you would have liked to have lived it, revising the scenes to conform to your ideals. For example, suppose today's correspondence brought disappointing news. Mentally revise the letter, rewrite it, and make it conform to the news you would have liked to have received. Then, in imagination, read the revised letter several times. This is the essence of revision, and revision results in cancellation. The only requirement is to awaken your attention in such a way and with such intensity that you become completely absorbed in the revised action. You will experience an expansion and refinement of your senses through this imaginative exercise and eventually achieve the vision. But always remember that the ultimate purpose of this exercise is to create within you the Spirit of Jesus, which is continuous forgiveness of sins. Remember that Neville's idea of sin is to miss the mark, not some biblical notion of immorality. It's saying that if you aim to make 10 free throws and make 9, then you've sinned. You've missed the mark. Did you know that forgiveness has the power to transform your life every day? It's not just a one-time act, but a daily opportunity for growth and elevation. When you forgive yourself and others, you free yourself from the chains of the past and make room for a future filled with new possibilities. Neville Goddard reminds us that we are constantly setting goals to manifest our desires. When we miss the mark, forgiveness is the key. Revision is of utmost importance when the aim is self-change. It's not just an occasional plea for forgiveness, but a daily practice. Sincere forgiveness elevates the human being to ever higher levels of existence. Neville explains that by forgiving daily, you experience constant resurrection, a continuous process of transformation. Freedom and forgiveness are inseparably linked. Not forgiving is to be at war with yourself. You are liberated to the extent that you are able to forgive. Forgive, and you will be forgiven. Luke 6:37. Forgiveness should come not just out of duty, but because you desire it. Her ways are ways of pleasantness, and all her paths are peace. Proverbs 3:17. Neville teaches us that you can only effectively forgive others when you have a sincere desire to identify them with your ideal. Forgiveness is a matter of deliberately withdrawing attention from the unrevised day and directing it with full force and joy towards the revised day. Each revision is a victory over yourself and therefore a victory over your enemy. When you practice the art of forgiveness and revision, no matter how real the scene before your eyes, you revise it with your imagination and see something never before witnessed. The radical changes in the fortunes of the prodigal son were all brought about by a change of heart. The battle that man fights is fought in his own imagination. The man who does not revise the day loses sight of the life in which it is the true work of the Spirit of Jesus to transform. So whatever you wish that others would do to you, do also to them, for this is the law and the prophets. Matthew 7:12. A powerful example comes from an artist friend who managed to forgive herself and free herself from pain, irritation, and lack of friendship. Knowing that only forgiveness and forgetting would bring new values, she threw herself upon her imagination and escaped from the prison of her senses. She wrote to Neville about a day when she entered the classroom and found all the chairs on top of the desks. When she tried to bring down a chair, she fell and hit her right foot. Instead of blaming the janitor, she revised the situation with understanding, realizing that he probably felt he had already done enough. This slight shift in perspective freed her from irritation and pain, showing the transformative power of forgiveness and revision. Are you ready to use revision and forgiveness as tools to transform your life? Forgive yourself, forgive others, and watch as your world opens up to new possibilities. After working intensely for about 3 hours on a drawing, I decided to make a cup of coffee. To my complete surprise, I couldn't move my right foot, which was throbbing with pain. I hopped over to a chair, took off my slipper, and looked at it. The whole foot was swollen, with a purplish-pink hue, warm to the touch. I tried to walk, but it just floated, completely out of control. It felt like I had broken a bone or dislocated something. Instead of speculating, I decided to immediately rid myself of the pain. I stayed quiet, trying to focus, but my imagination refused to cooperate, only saying no. This situation often happens when I'm painting. I started arguing with my own mind, but it kept denying. Finally, I gave up and asked, "Do you know I'm in pain? I'm trying not to be scared. What do you want to do?" The answer was clear. Go to bed and review the events of the day. I agreed, but warned, if my foot isn't perfect tomorrow morning, it's your fault. I arranged the blankets so they wouldn't touch my foot and started reviewing the day. It was a slow process as I struggled to keep my attention away from the pain. I reviewed the entire day, and when I got to the evening, I encountered a man who had stopped talking to me in the past year. Previously, I thought he had gone deaf. I had known him since school days, but we never went beyond greetings and comments about the weather. Mutual friends assured me I had done nothing wrong, but he decided it wasn't worth talking to me. I relived the scene in my imagination. I said hi. He responded with a smile. I repeated the scene a few times and moved on to the next incident. I thought about reviewing my foot or the concert a friend would have the next day. I was eager to give her a gift of courage and success. My imagination suggested reviewing the concert, as it would be more fun, but I asked to first remove my imaginary perfect foot from the physical. Once done, I had a wonderful experience at the concert, and my friend was applauded. I fell asleep, feeling deep peace. The next morning, as I put on my slipper, I briefly remembered the swollen, discolored foot I had taken off the night before. I looked at the foot, and it was perfectly normal, except for a small pink spot where I hit it with the chair. What a vivid dream, I thought. While waiting for the coffee, I went to my drawing table and saw the brushes scattered, dirty. What made you leave the brushes like this? I thought. Then I remembered. It was because of your foot. It hadn't been a dream, but a beautiful healing I achieved through the art of revision. You can revise the day to please yourself, and by experiencing in your imagination the revised dialogues and actions, not only do you alter the course of your life story, but you transform all your misunderstandings into harmony. Those who discover the secret of revision cannot help but be guided by love. Have you ever wondered how small moments can change the course of our lives? Imagine the power of revisiting those moments, turning pain into lessons and failures into triumphs. Today, I want to talk to you about the powerful art of revision, a tool that can transform your life in unimaginable ways. Neville Goddard, a master of imagination and inner power, teaches us that revision is essential for our personal transformation. Through continuous practice, you can use this technique to rewrite your past experiences, aligning them with your deepest desires. He says, "Resisting evil is useless, for all passionate conflicts result in an exchange of characteristics. To know the truth, you must live the truth, and living the truth means your actions must correspond to your fulfilled desires." Imagine that your outer reality is merely a reflection of the inner movements of your mind. Those unaware of the law of revision often find themselves in constant conflict, perpetually defeated. However, by idealizing and revising your experiences, you can shape a new reality. In his lecture, The Pruning Shears of Revision, Neville explains that each of us has a noble mission, to be the head gardener in God's garden. And as gardeners, we must use the pruning shears, that is, revision. By revising the day, you are not just recalling it, but advancing it into the future in a transformed manner, whether as a beautiful flower or as a strange weed. The choice is yours. Neville shares numerous examples of how revision can change lives. In his lecture, All Things Exist, he recounts the story of a friend who feared being fired. Neville revised the conversation in his mind, imagining the friend being praised for their work. Shortly thereafter, the friend was indeed praised and shared the news enthusiastically. This illustrates how our mental revisions can manifest in reality. Revision is a continuous process of redemption. We do not discard unpleasant experiences, but revise them, repel them, and in doing so, they project into our reality, bearing witness to the power of our human imagination. By practicing revision, you will begin to see the world not merely as a series of objective events, but as a subjective web interconnected with your own perception and capacity for transformation. Neville poetically illustrates this. When this eye of mine was first opened, I saw man, as the prophet saw him, as a tree walking. Some were but small branches, others were majestic in their foliage, all awakening in full bloom. The beauty of revision lies in its ability to transform ashes into beauty, sadness into joy, and heaviness into lightness. As written in Isaiah chapter 61, "Go and give beauty in exchange for ashes, joy instead of mourning, and a garment of praise instead of a spirit of despair, so that they may be called oaks of righteousness, the planting of the Lord, that he may be glorified." Why not start practicing the art of revision today? Review your day, transform your experiences, and see how your life can flourish in ways you never imagined. After all, the power to change lies within you. Have you ever wondered how seemingly insignificant moments can define your entire life? What if you had the power to transform these moments, to rewrite your story, and create a new reality? Today I want to talk to you about the art of revision, a powerful practice that can transform your life in amazing ways. Neville Goddard, a master of imagination and inner power, teaches us that revision is essential for our personal transformation. He tells us to replace ashes with beauty, to see healthy and satisfied customers if you're a shopkeeper, to visualize job stability if you work in a factory. Instead of seeing difficulties and limitations, he invites us to elevate our visions, to place joy in the stead of mourning, and the spirit of praise in place of the spirit of sadness. By doing so, you transform your energies and become a tree of righteousness, a planting for the glory of God. Our external reality is merely a reflection of the internal movements of our mind. Those unaware of the law of revision often find themselves in constant conflict, perpetually defeated. However, by idealizing and revising your experiences, you can shape a new reality. In one of his lectures, Neville shared a powerful example: a friend who feared being fired. Neville mentally revised the conversation, imagining the friend being praised for their work. Shortly thereafter, the friend was indeed praised and shared the news with enthusiasm. This demonstrates how our mental revisions can manifest in reality. Revision is a continuous process of redemption. We do not discard unpleasant experiences, but revise them, repel them, and in doing so, they project into our reality, bearing witness to the power of our human imagination. Another impactful example Neville shares is of a woman who had a car accident and partially lost sight in one eye due to glass fragments. She revised the accident in her mind, imagining the car passing without incident, and gradually her vision improved. She went to the doctor, who confirmed her vision was perfect. This demonstrates how traumas can be healed through revision. I also have a personal experience with this practice. As a child, I was seriously injured while sliding on a swing. I mentally revised the incident, imagining myself sliding without getting hurt, and noticed the scar disappeared. What scars do you carry that have impacted your life? Often, we are stuck in the past, identifying with our traumas, which limits our potential. It is crucial to realize how these past events continue to shape our present and simply revise them. By doing so, you unlock your true potential and begin to live a fuller, more rewarding life. Believe it, you have the power to transform your story. Start practicing the art of revision today and see how your life can flourish in ways you never imagined. The power to change is within you.